Do you want a watch that is great for hikers? One with an extremely long battery life, with maps and navigation and route planning, and one that won't break the bank? Well, then I believe that this watch is for you. First of all, hi and welcome to a new episode. Now, I've been looking for the perfect watch for a very long time, and when the new Fenix 7 came out not too long ago, I was like, yay! At least until I saw the price tag. Here in Sweden, you will have to pay like 10,000 Swedish crowns, depending on the version you want, and in the US, it's about $1,000 to $1,200, and that is just too much if you ask me. So instead, I started to look around and I found an interesting company that may or may not be new to you, but I have never heard of them before. COROS, from the US, if you didn't know. They have a couple of interesting watches and are a lot cheaper compared to Garmin and with a much better battery life, and that seemed to be the main benefit compared to competition. I wanted a watch with a good battery life and that could give me the information I need during a hike without spending a fortune. The one that caught my eye and what I finally bought was the COROS APEX PRO at 4,499 Swedish crowns, or about $428. Less than half the price of a Garmin Fenix 7. Today I will not go into all of the features,
No.
but I will focus on the ones that are interesting to use on a hike and that may be of interest to you as a hiker. Now let's quickly go through the specs and then look into the features. The Apex Pro has a 31mm or 1.2 inch touchscreen with sapphire glass built in a titanium frame. It is waterproof up to 100 meters and weigh in at just 59 grams, including the silicone watch band that follows with the purchase, and only 49 grams with the nylon band that I use. The battery life in GPS mode is 40 hours and in daily use about 30 days. And it supports 24 different activities and over 200 built-in exercises. I would like to add that the screen is not like a bright and colorful AMOLED screen like the ones you see on Apple watches and Samsung watches and such. And the reason not to use an AMOLED screen is of course the battery life. But visibility is good, both in daylight and in the dark using the backlight function. Even if this watch is a dedicated sports watch that supports a lot of activities, most of the time you are not working out or on a hike. So to have a watch that is also useful in your everyday life, I believe to be important. The features I like is to track my sleep and to get notifications, and also to be able to reject or answer my calls without picking up my phone. Now, if you answer the phone using your watch, since there's no mic in here, you will only transfer the call back to your phone, but I still believe it's a good feature. It also shows you your heart rate, it will show you the sunrise, the sunset, your steps and your burnt calories, and of course much more, but as an everyday watch, I believe it gives you the information you need during a day. And it tells the time too. The Apex Pro has no built-in maps. But lucky for you, you can download them for free on their website. And you can choose like the region where you're living or where you want to hike. And for me, I have all the Nordic countries in here. For the settings in the watch on the maps, you can choose to have it in landscape, topographic, or like a hybrid of both. I use the hybrid mode and I believe that to work just fine. You could have like a big macro view over the map or like zoom into 25 meters, but for hiking, I kept it on like 50 meters and I found out that to be perfect. I believe that the maps looks really good and they are really great to have when you're out hiking. Even if it is a small screen, it gives you a general idea where you are. Regarding navigation and planning a route, you don't do it on the watch. And even if it would be possible, it is not very practical due to the size of the screen. Instead, you plan your route on your computer, your phone, or maybe your tablet in an app like the Topo GPS or many others, and then save the route in a GPX format and then export it to the watch through the app on your phone. You find the GPX routes under My Route button in the app. You will then have the possibility to start navigation using your planned route, and at the same time you can also start an activity, so it will measure the heart rate, the pace, the distance and much more during your hike. It will also warn you if you deviate from your planned route using vibrations. And I promise you, you will not miss it, and it warns you pretty quick and only, damn mosquitoes, and only after a few meters of the planned route. So I believe that to be a really good feature. On my latest hike, I used this watch for 3 days for navigation, and it burned 50% of the battery. So the estimated 40 hours in full GPS mode I believe to be accurate. So that means you can be out using this watch for 6 days with full navigation without recharging, and I find that to be great. This watch also has a compass. Does it replace your normal compass? Well, I believe not. Well, it depends. If you use maps, then you need a compass to navigate, of course. And if you're way out in the wilderness and not maybe on a trail, then bring a compass and maps. But on a trail with a lot of signs everywhere and with GPS on your watch, you have your phone, you have digital maps perhaps, then I believe there's maybe not necessary to bring a normal compass, and the compass on your watch is good enough. But that is just me and a bit controversial perhaps. So to be safe out there, always bring a map and a compass, even if I don't. Other good and usable information and features while out hiking, well, I don't know. You have the heart rate, the maps, the navigation, the pace, the distance, and the routes to follow, so Sure, you can also, if you want to, see the elevation gained, you can see the sunrise and sunset to plan when to set camp and such, and you can also control a few action cameras if you have the GoPro or the Insta360. But one very important feature that I haven't mentioned yet is the back to start feature, like a reverse tracking or a breadcrumb trail. And that means you can always see where you've been and never get lost. So that is a really good feature. Well, this isn't your everyday smartwatch like an Apple Watch or a Samsung watch. You will not be able to control Spotify with it, you will not be able to pay with it, and you cannot talk on your phone with it because there is no mic and there is no calendar or no fancy and bright and colorful AMOLED. But it has a really long battery life, you have maps, navigation and route planning, you have heart rate and sleep monitoring, you have blood oxygen measurements, and you have support for over 24 different activities and over 200 built-in exercises. And on top of that, also 100 different watch faces to choose from, and much more. So I believe that the COROS APEX PRO is a well-built, high-quality fitness and hiking watch with a huge battery and that can take a beating, all at half the price of a Garmin Fenix 7. So if you ask me if I believe that this is a good alternative to any Garmin watch like Fenix 6 or 7, I would say hell yeah. Now, what do you think about the COROS APEX PRO? Do you have one? Do you want one, or do you prefer another brand altogether, and if so, then why? Please leave a comment and tell us all about it. But for now, this is it, and if you like today's episode, take a look at these 2 recommendations on my other videos. Also do hit like, subscribe and turn on the notifications so you don't miss out on any future content. I also hope to see you again next week, but for now it is bye-bye and safe hiking, okay? Use a compass. Damn mosquitoes.